during the course of the year. And the word independence itself is a great word. Independence means not to be tethered, not to be tied down to anything, to be free, to be able to roam as you wish. But as we know, freedom isn't free. For every Christian, there's one man who committed the ultimate sacrifice to make all of us free from the incarceration of sin, and that man is this person right here. Jesus Christ, dying on the cross for our sins. He taught us early on what the cost is for freedom. Someone once asked Jesus how much you love me. He said, I love you this much. And he stretched out his arms and died on the cross for our sins. July the 4th, 1776. The Continental Congress ratifies the Declaration of Independence, emancipating the 13 colonies from Great Britain. And from that time forward, many others have followed the path of Christ, have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep all of us free. And a major group of people who made that sacrifice are these people right here. Those who served in the military, those who died in combat, and many who did not die in combat, but elected to be placed, to be buried in one of these national cemeteries. It's incredible. If you visit the National Cemetery of the Alleghenies in Washington County, or Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C., and you look at all those markers, they stretch as far as the eye can see. And when you see those markers in a national cemetery, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I'm not too sure what can bring a tear to your eye. All those people who said yes to service of our country, all those people who lost their lives during battle, and those who died after. But in the National Cemetery, what you see is this: all those people offered sacrifice. They understood the cost of freedom. Now there's another group of people who have also made sacrifices to keep us free, not the sacrifice of their life, but another stellar sacrifice is these people. The wounded warrior. Whenever you see someone who has lost an appendage in the service, what an incredible gift to all of us. Look at the man in the top left of that picture. Now think about it for a second. When he lost his legs in battle, perhaps they were taken off immediately, or maybe they were shattered to the point that when he got help and was taken to the hospital, his legs had to be removed. But when you're a young man and you're in battle and you're doing service for your country and you're committing the ultimate sacrifice for being there, and then you lose your legs, I would have to say at an early point, and hopefully this isn't true for him anymore, but he probably lost his sense of hope, his future. He had to say to himself, how can I live without legs? I don't know how to live without legs. Look at the gal in the bottom left who is missing an arm, lost in battle. Now she's young. And when she lost that arm, she had to say to herself, maybe she wasn't married at the point of being in the service and losing that arm. But she had to say to herself, if she wasn't married, is there a man out there that will love me because I'm missing an arm? I don't feel complete. What was going on in her heart? What a sacrifice she had to give in order for all of us to be free. And when you look at those other pictures, every one of those people offered incredible sacrifice. Not their life, but I'm sure when they lost an appendage at that very point, they had to feel like their life was over. Hopefully they made some strong adjustments from that point forward. Freedom isn't free. And we should do our best to make sure that nothing ever corrupts or takes away our freedom. But there's one thing for most people that has taken away your freedom. We're becoming tethered to something that we should not be tethered to. And independence means not to be tethered. What is the monster that currently is growing among many people that's taking away the freedom of perhaps most of us, all of us, definitely some of us, from what I observe? Any idea what that monster is? It's taken away our freedom. This one right here, this is the monster. The cell phone. It's taken away your freedom. If you enjoy people watching you, go over to the mall and just sit in the bench over there and watch people and watch conduct themselves with their cell phone. You're just sitting on a bench over at the mall and you'll see someone cell phone in hand. Instead of looking up to see what they're headed toward or what's in front of them, they're looking down, going like this. What a way to lose their independence. And then you watch someone who they take their phone out of their pocket, they look to see if someone sent them a text message or some kind of instant message, and they quickly put it back in their phone. 15 seconds later, back out again to see if there's something else, back in again. How disappointing it must be when you're looking at your cell phone every 10 seconds and no one has sent you any message. How disappointing it must be if you're stuck in your house and you read a text about your buddy who's on a Dairy Queen eating his banana split. That's got to make you feel pretty lonely. So what are you going to do? Sit around the house and see maybe another 2 minutes? He'll send me another message and say, he just finished his banana split? You know, I was over at Sam's Club and I'm standing in line. I got my items and I'm waiting to check out. There's this fella in front of me, about my age, and his cell phone goes off. He picks it up, answers it, and he said, "Hi, honey." I figured that probably his wife, maybe. And then he said to her, "Not a whole lot has happened in the last 5 minutes." I said to myself, she just called this guy. 5 minutes ago, she called him. Then I'm thinking to myself, she's making the unmarried priesthood look pretty good right about now. And then he said to her, he said, "It looks like I'll be able to check out. Should take about 6 minutes. I'm coming straight home right after that, then we'll do something." I thought to myself, you're going straight home? What would you want to go straight home for? You know, the joy of life is to wake up and say to yourself, I'm going to do the things I'm expected to do, and when I have some free time, I'm going to do maybe something I haven't planned. What really makes it a day enjoyable are the unplanned things. That usually what makes life fun. Not to have to go straight home and maybe you run across someone you haven't seen for a while. Instead of standing in the aisle at the store, you say, "Hey, look, let's go over to the restaurant, get ourselves a cup of coffee, and we can talk just something a little different. Why go straight home?" I said to myself, when he said to his wife he's going straight home, I said, you know, if priests can marry, I'm positive I'll be on my 10th or 15th wife by now. Because I tell my wife, hey, look, you know, why do you think I volunteered to go to the store in the first place? So I could be free. If I knew you were going to call me every 2 seconds, I would have invited you with me. I can't deal with that style of surveillance. Freedom is a great gift. I think it's the beauty of living in the United States, because we're free. But what we've discovered as Christians, Christ commits the ultimate sacrifice to free us from the incarceration of sin. What we've discovered as Americans is that so many Americans have had to offer the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to be free, either by death in battle or the loss of appendage in battle as well. So why would we allow ourselves for anything to derail this beautiful gift of freedom? And then to be tethered to a cell phone, to be tethered to the computer or some style of technology. I would have to say this is just my own little conjecture on my part, and I could be wrong. But I really believe if you want to offer ultimate appreciation, sign of, and you want to pay respect to those who committed such great sacrifices to keep us free, I think maybe a neat thing to do, especially if you are the type of person, not everyone is, but they say some are. And when I was sitting on a bench over at the mall, I saw some folks who appeared to be tethered to their phone. Maybe a neat thing would be to shut your phone off. Shut off the computer. Walk away. Look at your family and say, I'm not going to be on a phone today. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while, Mom and Dad. I'm just going to sit here and talk to you guys. You can talk to me. Isn't that pretty exciting? I'm going to put down the phone and I'm going to go and do what I want to do. I'm going to be free. Sounds like a great way to celebrate Independence Day. Independence, freedom, boy, it's fleeting. We don't have the opportunity to keep it that long. I would have to say tomorrow, enjoy your Independence Day, celebrate it well, and maybe what you might want to do, especially if you find yourself becoming glued to your phone on a regular basis. Maybe you deserve to give yourself a gift and shut your phone off and to enjoy what's around you. I would have to say that's the true meaning of freedom. To be untethered, to do what you want to do.